Howdy y'all, Caleb here. I've got another tournament report from this month's Texas Toy Soldier Tournament we had here in Dallas, Texas. And so I normally take Seraphon. I think maybe the last one I took Trolls to. This one I had just finished building some Cities of Sigmar, Hallowheart. And so I wanted to take a Hallowheart army just to try to test it out. I didn't really have the full list ready, and so when you have about 500 points left over and you need something to fill in, what do you put in? Good old Gotrek. So here's my list I took for this tournament. We've got Gotrek in Hallowheart, so it's going to be a little bit of fun there. You can see the wonderful stunty dwarf himself right there, Gotrek. Always a wonderful beat stick and anvil at the same time in your list, especially when you have kind of a fragile list otherwise with all this magic. But I have a Sorceress there as one of my heroes. You can see her listed there. The spell that gives the extra +1 to the spell ignore. So if she gets that off, you're basically your whole army's ignoring spells on 4s if you're in range of her. She is the general's adjunct, so, or however you say that. So you get an extra command point using her, possibly on a dice roll. My centerpiece for this army is the Hurricanum, and I gave it the Cleansing Brooch because I'm going to try to Arcane Channel it, which if you don't play Hallowheart, at the beginning of your hero phase, you can spend a command point and roll a dice, and whatever the result of that dice is, you take that many mortal wounds, but then you get that much plus to casting in this army. And then I also took a Knight-Incantor, which he will be my Comet caster. I'm going to use him to cast Comet. And so with the synergies here, the Sorceress, she'll be at minimum +3 because she's going to sacrifice one of her Darkling Covens, one of the Darkshards, to get +2. She'll be +1 from the battalion, being close to another caster. And then she'll be +D6 whatever the Hurricanum gets. So she'll be minimum of +3 to cast, and then whatever D6 the Hurricanum rolls. The Incantor would only be +1 from the battalion, and then +D6 from whatever the Hurricanum gets. So that's still not bad. You're casting Comet outside of range of everybody, and it would be at minimum casting on a 5. So pretty good. His artifact makes him an extra -1 to hit, which, now that I think about it, I'm not sure I use that too often. I may have forgotten about that a time or two. His spells, he's going to... Because I only have 3 casters here, I really need to try to buff up the Darkshards. You can see that I'm taking a big block of 40 Darkshards. So I kind of have to work my priorities here, because I want the Knight-Incantor to cast his Comet, and then I need to buff the Darkshards with at least 2 spells, the Ignite Weapons and the where's it listed on there? Ignite Weapons and, there's another one. Warding Brand from the Sorceress. Got it. And that'll give the Darkshards a 4-up mortal wound reflect, and then also +1 of their wounds roll. But then I also need somebody to cast the Soulscream Bridge so that I can bridge that unit of Darkshards forward. So the idea of this list is to cast the Comet, cast a bridge, and shoot those Darkshards into range to shoot something, and then have whatever casters left over cast the swords. The Darkshards are kind of the alpha strike of this list. Having 40 of them, they each have 2 shots. And in this specific setup with the Hurricanum and with the spells that have gone off and with how with the unit size, that'll be 80 shots on 2s and 3s. No rend, but you know, when you're making 80 dice roll, you don't worry too much about the rend. You just want a bunch of dice going. So they'll fail those regardless of what happens, unless it's a 2-up re-rolling 1 save Rogue Idol. You'll see that in turn 1. So that's game 1. That's my list. It was really, I just kind of wanted to figure it out. My point in this tournament was I wanted to see if the Darkshards can make their points back. 400 points is a lot, and rolling 80 dice is a lot too. Are they going to be able to make those points back with what they can kill first turn? Is the bridge worth it? That's kind of my other goal of this tournament. See if I can really shoot that bridge forward with this list. In cities, if you're not familiar with Hallowheart and Cities of Sigmar, all those spells are empowered regardless of what realm you're playing in. So that bridge is going to go 24 inches. So all of a sudden that threat range is pretty far. So that's the list. 3-game tournament. This one was kind of a unique theme going into this tournament. And so you'll see all the battle plans are random battle plans. We've got like Gift from the Heavens, Shifting Objectives, and Relocation Orb. So not your typical battle plans for a tournament, as they're all kind of random, and you can lose a game based on where something falls or which way the orb bounces. So, but it was still fun. Yeah, I mean, every tournament it's fun. Anytime you get to play Age of Sigmar, it's fun. So, yeah, that was the point of this list. I also wanted to get some Gotrek kills for Gotrek, glorious Gotrek. See if we can get higher up on the list for Gotrek kills for 2020. So we'll go into it and see how the games do. So game 1, I played against Rob Martinez. Great guy. Last time I played him, I think I got tabled pretty quick. He was playing the shooting Skaven list, and I was playing Seraphon, and my heroes were dead pretty quick. It was in a hero capture game plan. So this one, it was I liked my chances a little bit better on this one because honestly, it's just random where these things are going to fall. We're playing Gift of the Heavens, so you can see the map there. It's going to fall in one of these territories on his second hero phase, and then on my second hero phase, it's going to fall into one of my territories. So I'm kind of, you can see our deployment here. I'm kind of hedging my bets that it's going to fall into this 2/3 of the board. At least one of them, right? Statistics say one of them should follow on that side of the board. Guess what? They don't. Yeah. So I think he kind of knew what my plan was. You can see my Soulscream Bridge size hole right there inside my Darkshards and my Hurricanum. And then my Sorceress right here. She's going to cast that bridge. You have to set it up exactly right so that she can get the +1 buff from the Incantor. That's right here. He can get the buff from her. He can still cast the Comet. And then they both get the bubble from the Hurricanum. So I've tried this deployment at home, made sure it worked. We're good to go. Fortunately, I think he kind of knew what was happening because he put his Mawcrusha all the way over here and a Rogue Idol all the way up in the corner. Like that Rogue Idol was seriously all the way in that corner. So he was playing big Waagh, Rogue Idol, Mawcrusha, bunch of, I'm not going to get the names right. It was some kind of, I think it's the Bone Splitter guys, a whole bunch of little naked greenskin guys with spears, and then Ard boys and the pig guys. So that was kind of his list. He's obviously very heavy on the right, but that 24 inches from here, I'm really not going to be able to hit anything. I can't hit his Mawcrusha, and his Rogue Idol is hidden behind a tower, so I can't hit that. So I came into this tournament wanting to take the first turn every single time, priority, and just try to snipe something off the board with these Darkshards. 80 shots, I should be able to hit them just about all the way across the board, unless you're in the very, very far corner. So I think he knew that. Smart guy. And he lined up all the way in the back corner. So I'm going to let him go first. That's the plan. I have some Handgunners here, and then Gotrek in the middle. I'm thinking if he sends something all the way over here, I'll just take Gotrek into him and take it out. So hopefully we'll have a threat there. See what happens. So I give him first turn. I did outdrop him, but I give him first turn. Start kind of going through these pictures. There's my deployment, my Hurricanum. There's his Rogue Idol hiding all the way over there. And if you've seen any of the latest Big Waagh stuff, you know that Rogue Idol can move all the way across the table. I kind of knew that theoretically. I haven't played it yet, and it always surprises you when the Rogue Idol, which has always been slow, you know, if you've played Rogue Idol in the past, it's a slow, heavy rock monster. You know, it hits hard, but you just avoid it, or you take it out with a bunch of like low-rend shots. And, I mean, that's all it takes. No damage, you know, just get one hit damage kind of things. Yeah, not anymore. That's That's not the 2020 Rogue Idol. The thing is fast. And in this army, he buffed it up to a 2-up save, rerolling 1s, and he's going to shoot it like a ballistic missile into my list and tie me up for 2 turns, basically. So that was his goal, and it succeeded quite well. Here it was. It shot all the way over here in front of these guys. And it looks like he put up a wall there. I don't think it ever really came into any relevance. I think maybe it was in case I was trying to bring Gotrek up that way where all the Darkshards. But he brought this guy down, and it's gonna slam into these guys over here in the corner on the charge. And basically all he does in his turn is get all his buffs up. So this thing's in my face. It's going to be incredibly hard to kill, especially with Darkshards, which have no rend. So 2-up rerolling 1s is going to do nothing. You know, my Darkshards 80 shots aren't going to do anything because they don't have rend. But he takes out those handgunners. You can see them disappeared there. And now it's my turn. So end of turn 1, there's no objectives down, so there's nothing to really do yet. And in my turn, so I didn't want to commit too far to one side or the other, just because I didn't know where the objectives were going to fall. And so my plan was to take this power blob here this way and either tie up the Rogue Idol and leave Gotrek to attack or capture whatever objective is left. I think I should have flip-flopped that in retrospect, because the Darkshards, I mean, we ended up killing the Rogue Idol. You'll see that here in a minute. But it kind of trapped Gotrek when the objectives fell. So I cast Comet. You can see Comet's over here. It hit quite a bit of stuff. I mean, it hit basically his whole army. Did a bunch of mortals. But with Big Waagh, he can move immediately after. And so you can kind of see, after I put it down, he moved everything outside of 5. So when you do the double turn or if you take, second turn with the Comet, you drop it. If you get the double, it's going to double tap. Then you unbind it and cast it again. So you get 3 taps with it. But because they get to move after they take any kind of damage, you're not going to be able to do that. I also cast Swords onto the Rogue Idol. Hopefully do some mortals. I think I did 1. And empowered, you're rolling, 15 dice, and 6s do mortals on this army, but I only got 1. So I think later when he moves it onto me between turn 2 and 3, he does like 7, and every time I move it, I do 1. Sometimes that's the way the dice go. So my turn, I'm gonna shoot these Darkshards over here. I'm gonna do some mortals. I'm hoping just to get most of the mortals from this thing, and then cast some spells on them. See what happens. I think we got him down. Oh, yeah, that's a good scoreboard. So you can see we put some damage on him, but not much. I think the Darkshards, it was pretty sad. We got a whole lot of shots through, but I think statistically it should have done like 7 or 8, even with the rerolls. But nah, he saved just about all of them. So we roll off, and he gets the turn. So he gets the turn priority. So I move shards over to the Rogue Idol, and I think that I did 1 again. So he has a mortal save, so he's saving most of those. So not much has happened there yet. On his turn, when I had moved, unfortunately, I left look at that. I left just the right amount of space for him to get his Rogue Idol in my Hurricanum. So if I had moved one Darkshard closer this way, he wouldn't be able to fit him through. It's just one of those things you don't think of. Well, I will now. But you can see there was like a millimeter of space between the edge of the mat and my Darkshards. He got a nice long charge and made it through to my Hurricanum. I think it may have survived with 1. I can't remember. But I think most of the damage that I did to that Rogue Idol in this turn came from the Darkshards just reflecting the mortals back. So that wasn't bad. In his turn, of course, he rolled for where the gift from the heavens was going to come down, and it did come down on that far upper right side, which was going to be the hardest for me to reach because I was going to have to go through his Mawcrusha to get there. If it was over here, I would have had a lot better chance. I would have just shot Gotrek up there to deal with those piggies and kill those Ardboys if they came over, and would have had a little bit better chance. But yeah, his fell down up on the top right, so that was unfortunate. So that's the way it goes with these random ones. So here we go. We lost some Darkshards in that turn. And now it's my turn. And unfortunately, because of how I piled in, I didn't have enough room to bridge these Darkshards out. I was gonna send this unit over to wherever my objective fell. But once I measured it on the bridge, it was like there was like one dude that was out. Yeah, it was frustrating. So that bridge is real finicky. You gotta be real careful to keep everything within 6. My objective did, of course, fall over here on this side, which I can't get to at the moment. So both of them are on that right side, which is where both of his power monsters are at. The Rogue Idol and the Mawcrusha. I still did cast a bridge, and I just sent my Knight-Incantor over there just to capture it. So I'd at least have one model on it, and I could get the points. Unfortunately, because these guys were stuck in combat, I could not get Gotrek through. To both of those objectives that were right there, I couldn't get Gotrek through. So I got him as close as I could. I knew I was going to have to be sending him over there towards that Mawcrusha and stuff. So, but I couldn't, you know, running up the side of the wall, you know, kind of over. You can't get him very far. So, yeah. So end of. Oh, that was still his turn right there. So into my turn, I do kill the Rogue Idol with some spells and whatnot. And then you can see, so on my turn, this is the bridge that I sent over with the Knight-Incantor. Knight-Incantor's standing over here on top of the objective. What happens though is I do some kind of damage to the Mawcrusha. You know, I got to put something on him because he's about to. If he gets the turn, he's going to tear me up. Well, in doing so, he gets to move, and he rolled just enough to where he was inside my objective, to where my Knight-Incantor, who was the only one that could make it there, I even command pointed to run these guys, and I couldn't get any more models in. So now it was 1-to-1 on that objective. So. If I just left the Mawcrusha alone, I could have had that objective instead of, you know, just plinking him, getting some damage on him. Oh, and it also took him right out of range of Gotrek. So it's just one of those things that unless you've played Big Waagh before, you don't think about, because every damage you do, they're going to move. No matter what phase they're in, they're going to move. And so they're really hard to catch. Really hard to tie down, especially for Gotrek when he only moves 4. I was in range to do a charge before, and I think now I think I had to roll 12, and it wasn't worth spending the command point because I was going to need those if he got the turn. I only had 1 command point left. I did leave my handgunners kind of over here, just a screen from, he had his pigs that he was bringing down this way to kind of close in. They were able to shoot a little bit on Mawcrusha. But Hurricanum stayed alive. That was nice. I couldn't Arcane Channel, though, because it was too close to death. I think it had 6 wounds on it, maybe, or 5, something left like that. And so if I had rolled high, it would just, poof, gone. And so I used my brooch, I'm sure, that turn to heal up a little bit. So from turn 2 to 3, I did get the double turn. So I was able to pile in a whole lot more. I bridged my Hurricanum over to here. Oh, looks like it has 2 wounds left. So yeah, I definitely was going to Arcane Channel that. I bridged that guy over here. I got my Darkshards and my Sorceress and Gotrek. Unfortunately, doing any damage to the Mawcrusha, which I needed to do, lets him move. So as I'm plinking him, he's getting outside of range of Gotrek, so he's just running away. So by the time it comes to the charge phase, he's outside of 12, and I can't attack him. Or I can't charge him with Gotrek. So now I'm just, I'm kind of left holding my objective. Now I've got, 2 more turns after this. This was turn 3. So I've only got 2 more turns to get to his objective and take it. You can see I keep hitting the comet up here. And the Comet's awesome. I love it. It's great. Well worth the points. The problem is, I'm casting it back there, and he's moving his guys out of the way every single time it casts. So I was able to kill like 2 small heroes that were holding it, but then everybody else just kind of kept moving away. Every time they get damaged, they just move out of the way. And so it wasn't really living up to quite its full potential that you wanted it to. Because I could have killed off all his heroes back there and then started working on these little guys. And he would have had to pull Mawcrusha back. I just had to get Gotrek up that way. If I'd started a turn earlier, I think I could have had him up there a little bit faster. So in his turn 3, I score my points, but he's basically just holding on to his. And now it's just a game of hold the line. If he's just going to send all his stuff over here to block anything of mine from getting up here. So in his turn, I think because he has so much movement, he comes around the back. Yeah, there's a score sheet. We can pop the score sheet. Well, we'll wait. So, leave you in suspense. Yeah. Now you know what happens. So they move so much and he flies that the Mawcrusha on his turn just flanks right this way and kills both the Hurricanum, the Knight-Incantor, so now I can't cost the Comet again, and starts working on the Darkshards. So starts wearing out my units. He's not going to kill the Darkshards this turn, and the Darkshards actually do quite a bit of damage to him. I think I got him down to like 3 wounds or something like that, just from the Mortal Reflex and things like that. But yeah, at the end of that turn, he scores his own, and I score mine. So if I can get the double, I can kill the Mawcrusha, keep units, bring my other handgunners over there, keep units on it, and then send Gotrek up the board. I've got 2 turns to take his turn. Unfortunately, he gets the double. And at that point, he wipes out the rest of the handgunners, or the Darkshards. He wipes out the handgunners. He wipes out basically everything except Gotrek. So you can see he scores my objective, which was right here, because he ran these guys around there. I couldn't do anything about that. I only have 1 model left, Gotrek, who's stuck right here. And that's effectively the game over. So he scored 8 points that turn, and there was really no way for me to get my own objective back, which I was going to have to do, and then score his. There was literally no way for me to do that. I only had 1 model, which was Gotrek. So I sent Gotrek down here to kill the Mawcrusha to give us a moral victory there, which he easily did. Mawcrusha was already hurt. Gotrek killed him in 1 activation. Didn't even need all that. When he gets in combat, he does amazing. So he tallied up the Rogue Idol and the Mawcrusha. That was not too shabby of a day for him, but we did lose the game. It was a good game. I wish the objectives had fallen a little bit different. Both of them on his one side over here was basically the worst spot they could have come down for me. So it would have been a little bit more interesting if we could have had them spread out and thrown some units around. But never, yeah, here's the moral of the story. Never underestimate that Rogue Idol. That thing, it flies. It has a 2-up save. You can give it Mystic Shield, and it's going all the way across the board. So screen for that, and then have some Ren to take it down. In retrospect, I needed to be a little bit smarter with Gotrek. I needed to get him over on that side faster and moving towards his objective earlier in the game. So probably I should have just taken a gamble and shot Gotrek straight up the board turn 1 instead of kind of holding him, waiting to see where it landed. Just shot him up the board, said, I don't care where it's going. I'm going up the middle, and then he'll go left or right whenever we figure out where the objective is. So that probably would have been how I would have played it different. I guess I would have taken first turn and just started whittling down some bodies or something. I don't know. I would have had to deal with that Rogue Idol and Mawcrusha regardless. So good game though, a lot of fun. Learned a little bit about cities. It's fragile. You've got to be able to. You have to keep your synergies, and they're very tight to try to keep those synergies for Hallowheart. And then don't let anything get into your spells. And you know what? He has a sneaky way to deal with spells, because he can spend Waagh points to just basically blast away your spells when you're trying to get some important ones off. But yeah. Alright, good game. On to game 2. Alright, game 2. I was playing Dwight. I had never played him before. I think he was fairly new to AOS. He's played a couple games. I think he had played 5 or 6 games with Slaanesh. Maybe he's played before that. I'm not 100% sure. Nice looking army. I was a little worried about playing Slaanesh. You know, the boogeyman army. Well, maybe not the boogeyman since Tzeentch came out. But I haven't played it in its new iteration yet, and so I was interested to see how it was going to do. We are playing on shifting objectives. And so, if you don't know what that one is, this one objective every turn is going to be worth more than the others. It's going to be worth 3 instead of 1. I like this one because I'm going to line Gotrek up right in the middle, shoot him to that center objective. He's going to sit on that one and hold that one all game, and then I'm going to send all my bodies to another one. So that was the plan. Here's his list. He had a... let's see if we can zoom it in a little bit. He had... the Bladebringer, two chariots. I don't know a lot about these guys, but 2 of the chariots that are real nasty. They have a ton of attacks. Herald of Slaanesh, Keeper of Secrets, Contorted Epitome, Mask, some Hellstriders, and some Seekers. Basically, it was a 2-drop list, maybe 3 drops with the Keeper. It was low. It was real low. And he had already said from the beginning that he's slinging those chariots. Maybe it was after we got set up, but he's like, I'm slinging those chariots into Gotrek. That's my only chance to kill him, because they have something like 20 attacks once he gets them buffed up or something. So that was his plan. But nice looking army. Let's see how we do. If I can get back to... There we go. Okay, so here's setup. You can see the objectives here in the middle. You'll kind of notice a monkey in some of these pictures. There's a little tiny, like 25mm monkey. That had to do with the tournament we were in, and it was kind of themed thematically. It could do some mortals to you if you were standing on that objective and whatnot. So that's not actually a model that one of us is using. It's part of the theme for the tournament. So these games were kind of, they were fun, but they had some good themes to them, all monkey related. So you can see his setup here. He's got his Keeper Secrets right here. Some Hellstriders. There's like a hero back here, little jumping lady, and then there's 2 chariots right here. And so just kind of glancing at it, I thought I could get his Keeper if he gave me turn. And I don't think he knew what the bridge did. So you can see my bridge set up here. You can see Gotrek right here. Gotrek is heading towards that objective, and he's going to bring the handgunners along with him for bodies. These handgunners are just going to run up this way, and then I'm going to try to bridge these guys into that Keeper Secrets. So I think he didn't want to get close to me on his turn, so he's going to let me go first. Probably didn't think that I could hit his Keeper, but this table was much wider open than the last one. Not all these buildings in the way, and so I was going to be able to hit that Keeper turn 1. I don't know if that was the right target. The Keeper Secret's is kind of scary. I don't really want her getting into my army, but these chariots, they did quite a bit of work for him. He cleared out quite a bit with those chariots. They're no joke. So luckily he gave me the turn. That's what I wanted. I went into this tournament saying I'm going to take first turn every single time. Yeah, I'm only 5 drops, so I should get to choose a good portion of the time. This one I didn't get to choose, but he gave it to me. So far, I didn't take it first turn, probably to my demise. This turn, I'm going to take it and see how it goes. So, the special objective, the monkey, fell on the middle for us, and so that was perfect. So I'm just going to send Gotrek right up the middle, run him, auto-run him if I need to, and he's going to sit right on top of the objective. So, I start my buffs off. I shoot the Comet down somewhere over here. I'm sure I got a picture of it. And then I'm going to bridge all of these Darkshards right over here onto this left objective, but in range to shoot this Keeper of Secrets. She has a mortal wound save. She has that Ignax Scales, but that's it. So 4-up save. if I can get enough Darkshards into it, it should easily kill it. So, some more pictures. Real nice looking army. Good stuff there. So here's after the bridge movement. I've got plenty of bodies in range here. I'm not worried about the Hellstriders coming in and taking it. And then I bring my Sorceress along with us right here. And then the Hurricanum here to help keep my buffs up and going. You can see I took 1 wound from... I don't know why that says 11, but I took 1 wound, I think, after I'd healed from the casting. Once I came over here, I was supposed to cast Swords, and I totally forgot. So that was my plan, is to cast Comet, Bridge, cast Swords with that last spell. You can see the Comet here hit quite a bit of stuff, and then these Darkshards took out the Hellstriders that were over here, and then most of these all could hit the Keeper and took him out right there where he's got his hand at. Last couple rows could only get in range of these guys. I think they only put like 1 wound on them, 2 wounds, maybe something like that. So you can see I've got Gotrek over here. He made it to the middle objective along with the Handgunners. And then the Handgunners that you probably won't see ever a picture ever again ran up to that objective and held that objective. So they got a... Luckily, I needed a decent run from them because you're 12 away. They can move 6. Well, I guess all they needed was any number and they would have scored it. So, so I was able to score all 3 objectives, including the special one. So that got us 5 points on that one. And we took out one of his major heroes, put wounds on a lot of stuff. Now, I am just feeding him depravity at this point because I'm shooting and wounding and spelling all his heroes. But that's fine. That's fine. Let me score objectives. You can have all your depravity. So, there's the right side of the board. My Incantor, unfortunately, kind of fell behind. I wanted him up there with these guys for a little bit of protection so he could pass off his wounds. That's his retinue. He's out of range of that retinue, so he'll take some wounds in a little bit. And there's the monkey with Gotrek and the Handgunners there beside him. And we score 5 points. So on his turn, he's bringing everybody. He's bringing everybody at Gotrek that he possibly can. He's going to get all these guys into him. And the good thing, he gets around with Slaanesh, he gets around the Handgunners because he's not going to charge the Handgunners, basically. Maybe the Chariots had to, but the Hellstriders aren't going to. They can just pile in within 6. Maybe the Chariots can too. I can't remember. So you can see him bringing in stuff towards Gotrek here. He's just going to try to get both these Chariots on it, I think, and then hopefully get some of the longer range attacks from here. Get quantity of attacks into Gotrek. That's his plan. I think he made a good enough charge though that he was able to get his Chariot over here, and he was I think his plan was to kill this Sorceress that was right there, and then maybe like on the charge, and then maybe pile in and attack this. I think he almost killed the Sorceress. I think she went down to like 1 wound or something. And these Hellstriders went into the Darkshards. And you know what? That's fine. In this list, it's like kill the Darkshards because that's going to be 20 mortals coming back at you. Maybe more if I roll well. And so I'm okay with that because it's probably going to kill most of what he's bringing into me. And then if I get the turn, we'll just wipe him out with the spells from the Hurricanum. He did get some damage on him. I think he maybe did some spells or shooting or something on the Knight-Incantor. And he's bringing in everybody here. Oh, he got this I don't know, contorted epitome or something. I don't know. One of the other small heroes like whipped all the way around into those Handgunners. And so he's putting a lot of pressure here. He's getting a lot of bodies on the objective. And so it's going to work pretty well. But he needs to kill Gotrek. You see on the charge, he's already got him down 1 wound. But he really needs to take out Gotrek. Otherwise, he'll probably lose just about everything there on the objective. If you've never fought Gotrek, that's not a fun experience. Yeah. Here's what it looks like. He only got Gotrek down 3 wounds. And then basically lost his Chariot and that other little foot hero. He kept the Hellstriders there, but because I think they're piling or something. Somehow he had tried to work over this way, And if I were him, I think I would have just taken out the handgunners as much as possible. Now, you'd risk getting within 3 of Gotrek, but if you could take out the handgunners, then he would have had the objective. But I think I kept enough here on the objective that it didn't matter. And I piled this guy in to where he would be within 6 of this objective. So just making sure I had enough extra bodies. And then I had enough command points to save this unit and save the other one, the Darkshards that were taking some heat too. Now, if you got the double, I wouldn't have any command points then to save those. But at least, you know, hey, give me the points right now, especially while the objective is the primary objective is right here in the middle. I can't let him grab that. There we go, 1 to 5. Yeah, he was only able to score. Oh, he did take the one on the far right side, which was just a normal objective. He took that away from the handgunners, and I couldn't battle shock them. They all ran, so those handgunners were gone. He's going to hold that objective the rest of the game. So here's how. Oh, he did get the turn. He got the double turn from 1 to 2, and dispelled the bridge. I'm not real sure why he wasted a spell on dispelling the bridge. It's just kind of a roadblock at that point. Maybe he's just trying to get past it or something. I think I would have, if I had any other spell, I think I would have dealt with it because I don't care about going back to where the bridge was. The objectives are up here. I'm leaving my bodies here the rest of the turn. But maybe it was just so he could get better clearance over here into these units. He made sure on this turn, he made sure and kept out of range of Gotrek, I think. These guys were stuck in combat, so I think when he piles in this turn, he makes sure and keeps him out of Gotrek's way. He summoned in. He said later this was kind of a questionable choice, but he just really wanted to play with the Fiends. So he summoned in 3 Fiends with his depravity points. He was up pretty high on depravity. He couldn't get a keeper yet, but he brought in 3 Fiends and then one of the other harp people. So he had 2 harp people. So that was really just going to shut down my casting. In fact, I don't think I cast another spell all game, just because those 2 things would, if you make a successful spell roll, you have to re-roll it, and if you roll a double, then you do mortals to yourself. I think the Incantor may have killed himself that way. I can't remember 100%, but so that basically shut down my spell casting for the rest of the turn. So my first 2 games in a spell-heavy army, I've been countered by somebody who can spend, you know, funny money points to pump up their spell dispels to battle me, and then somebody who can just force me to re-roll all my spells. So, ouch! When you run into that, it hurts. At least I hadn't hit Khorne yet with those Hexagore skulls. That would have been brutal. So in his turn, let's see. I'm sure. Hopefully we got some more pictures. Yeah, he takes out the handgunners. Does not engage Gotrek. I tried to bait him a little bit with the Incantor to try to force him to have to pile in closer, but didn't take the bait. These guys did not make their charge, and I think he even re-rolled it. They needed a 9, maybe an 8. I can't remember if he had a +1, but couldn't make the charge into Gotrek. They just have a lot of attacks too, so I think that's what he was trying to do. These Darkshards continue to do their job just because they still had their buffs up, so any mortals or any wounds they were taking were doing mortals back, and we killed about half that unit just from the mortals. And his turn, he does score the middle objective, which was a special, and then the one on the right side. On my turn, so the objective at the top of that last turn, the objective stayed in the middle, which was nice for me. He was able to score it that turn, but I have Gotrek there, so I'm pretty sure on my turn I can take it back. So this looks like it's probably after my next turn. You can see the Striders over here are gone. These guys are just right outside of the range to capture that. I think the Knight-Incantor, I guess he survived. I think the only thing I could really get off on him was I failed the Comet. I think I healed. I got a heal off or something. And we were able to finish off the Chariot with the mortals from the Hurricanum. It's actually a really good spell. Or not a spell, but it does have good spells too. But the shooting from that is pretty good. Rolling 3 dice depending on his health. 2 up is D3 mortals for 3 dice. So it's pretty good. These guys are just going to shoot into them. And Gotrek cleared off these guys. So we take back all 4 of those points. And at this point, we're just not even going to bother with objective 3. It's staying over there. He's got it under control. I can't get anything over there. So as long as it doesn't bounce over there, we're going to be good. He's running out of bodies quite a bit. So end of turn, we're up 9-5. And I get the double turn. So from 2 to 3, I take the double. And it looks like we get off Comet this time. Somehow we managed to get that off. Basically just putting it there as a roadblock. It does hit Gotrek and I think the Incantor, but we have that ignore, and I'm just trying to put something in front of him so he can't quite as easily move towards me. We take out these guys and put some more wounds on this thing, but it's got like a 2-up save, so I'm not putting anything through it. At this point, it's just protecting these objectives. And pretty much got the game won at that point. We can pop up the final score here. In his turn, looks like nothing significant happened in his turn. I think he may have sent these Fiends in. Let's see. He may have sent these Fiends into Gotrek, who promptly killed him. I don't remember 100%. Let's see if we got a picture. Oh no, he sent him over here. I guess he was. I guess he wanted to avoid Gotrek. Probably smart. Looks like he did kill the Knight-Incantor at that point, and they go over into these Darkshards. I don't remember. I don't think he killed them all. I don't remember exactly what happened there. But after his turn, I get the double, or I don't get the double. I get the priority, and so I've already got it bodied out. And so at that point, it's kind of game over. But it was pretty crazy. It was a good game. I was surprised at how few models we had left on the board. I think he probably should have started summoning bodies. And I think if I were him, I would have taken stuff over this side. You would have had to climb those fences and stuff. But just stay away from Gotrek. Try to claim that objective. And the other one, score 2 a turn. Hope it bounces to one of those. But I think it literally stayed in the middle for the first 2 rounds, and that 3rd round, I think it actually bounced over to this side. So, unlucky bounces on his part. If it had stayed over on the right side, then there was nothing I could have done. He would have won the game just because I couldn't keep up with those 3 points he was scoring every turn. But keeping it there with Gotrek, he's only one model, but he'll clear off whatever you can put around him. So, not too shabby. It was a good game. I think he probably could have maybe summoned a little bit different and tried to attack that flank. You can see him kind of sending this hero over that way, but I think at that point it was a little too late for that. But good game, a lot of fun. Definitely had a good game, Dwight, and look forward to seeing you again. I think he said he's on the wait list for the Lone Star GT, so hopefully we'll meet again there. All right, on to game 3. All right, game 3. Of course, we're continuing the trend of totally random battle plans for this tournament. And I kind of liked it. I mean, it's not super competitive when you're playing the ones that you have no control over whatsoever. But it creates some good games. I mean, they can be swingy and stuff, but especially Relocation Orb. But they're still fun. I mean, they're still fun. So you can see there's a War Scroll card up here. It's for the stupid monkey. That monkey that was in the last game and we collected stuff for the first game. Now that little 25mm monkey is a hero. And you can see from this War Scroll card, it has just amazing stats. Has a flinging poo, missile range, and a matted claws melee. The important thing, though, was if you had earned a banana, which you could have done, I didn't talk about it, but he's a 4-up ethereal monkey. That's right. So you'll probably see this monkey in a couple of pictures. Oh, here he is. There was my monkey up on the wall of some. So Relocation Orb with Gotrek. You know, if it goes well and I can get Gotrek onto it, it's going to be good. I like stuff that only has one objective. So here's the lineup. Okay, so first I'm playing John Jisha. Had a ton of fun in this game. Even though it was a crazy, crazy game. It swung so hard turn one, both directions, but it was still a lot of fun. So he's playing the shooting Skaven. You can see he's got his Storm Fiends, 6 Storm Fiends, and then 2 Warp Lightning Cannons. Your basic shooting Skaven list. All he's missing are the Giselles. Where are the Giselles? The one thing I had never played against, but in this list here was this Night Runners or Gutter Runners or whatever those are. Because when we set up, before anything else had happened, or as we're setting up, he's putting his Clan Rats here and he's putting his big block here. And I'm thinking, this is perfect. Look at this. I can bridge to right here, outside of 9. These guys are within 7. Talking about your measurements, they have to be 7 inches from the front of their line. Those Storm Fiends are. That's going to be my target. I'm going to put 80 shots into those Storm Fiends, and we're gonna destroy most of them. All right, here we go. He has 1,000,000 drops, so I'm going to get to choose. I'm going to go first. This is going to be amazing. It's going to go perfectly. I'm going to run Gotrek onto this objective. It's going to be game over. Turn 1. Until these stupid little rats, they get a movement. And they move right where I wanted to bridge. Dang it. And so he moves these guys right here. And so now I've got to be, his little night rat guys are here. And I've got to be 9 now away. And so even if I bridged over here, there's another building, a wall, kind of like this one down here, that I'm not going to be able to bridge anything in. If the one spot I'd be able to bridge them in, I wasn't going to be able to shoot anything. So I had no good target. If I had deployed differently, I could have run and shot the Darkshards, but I didn't realize those rats were going to get to move. So that kind of destroyed my plan there. The more you know. So I had to let him go first and just withstand the shooting, see how it would go. It was going to be brutal, but I still had Gotrek. He's not going to kill Gotrek turn 1, and I'm going to just rush him towards the middle, and Gotrek's just going to follow the objective the whole time. Here we go. So that's the plan. Let me pop up the scores, because here's the score sheet. Looks like I won, right? We'll see. We'll see. So I give him first turn, and as soon as he bridges, he also had the bridge. You could tell from his deployment. As soon as he bridged, I kind of knew, man, I'm in trouble. So he's got the Storm Fiends here, like a rattling gun, like a single rattling gun, and then his Warp Lightning Cannons. So he bridges those guys outside of 9 of here. He's going to put I don't think he really put much into Gotrek. He put a little bit into him, but I think it was like the machine gun shots from those guys. But most of it, he was focused on my support. And so he's looking to take out the Knight-Incantor right here, and the Hurricanum, and the Sorceress. Those are his primary targets, which that was a good idea. But hey, the Knight-Incantor, like, he has that -1 to hit. He's -2 to hit right now. He can pass off his wounds. He's 3-up save. This guy's fine. He's fine, right? Yeah. Oh. So here's his bridge movement. He's gonna start shooting. Oh, and his yeah. Notice how much of my stuff is gone. In his movement phase, he moves in these guys just to cover for where Gotrek would want to go. So there's before shooting, there's after. I basically lost everything. One of his Warp Lightning Cannons did blow itself up, so that was nice, while he was shooting into the Hurricanum. But it killed the Hurricanum, it killed Knight-Incantor. You know, all the minuses to hit in the world don't matter if you just do a bucket load of mortals. And then the Storm Fiends blew off 30 of the Darkshards, Handgunners. Basically, I'm left with 22 models, and that's 10 Handgunners, 10 Darkshards, a Sorceress, and Gotrek. So this is about to be the Gotrek show, because we got nothing else. So in his turn, he only scores 1 because I made him go first. So I'm going to get the turn to go. Hold on. Before we get to that, we got to explain before Gotrek gets up in there. So on my turn, I need to get through here, and I measured and see this gap right here. As long as Gotrek's base gets into that gap, he'll clear these gutter rat, night rat guys, whatever they're called, and he'll be within 3 inches of this group. Yes. So he will get 2 activations, as long as I make a charge there. But I've got a command point that I'm not going to use for anything else. So Gotrek moves over this way. And handgunners move this way. Darkshards move up. And I had a monkey. He's somewhere right in here. He didn't kill my monkey yet. And I moved him over just in case it bounced this way and I got the turn. Then he would be sitting right on it. So I think I can't remember if I don't remember what I did with the Darkshards. I think they just moved. At this point, it was just, what can Gotrek do? So he's going to go into there. Well, I killed enough of the rats that Gotrek was able to make a charge just right past him. And so you can see in my turn, Gotrek is into the Stormfiends, into the Rattling Gun. So now we're going to have some fun. Gotrek, of course, activates twice. Once when my first activation, then after combat. And there is what's left. Basically, all the Stormfiends are gone. He had 1 left. He may have saved it. I can't remember. With Battle Shock, but it was within 3, so it was gonna be stuck with Gotrek. And look at that. How many wounds did Gotrek take? He just took 1. So I think the Stormfiends were able to attack because I didn't kill them all the first activation, but they were able to attack back, and they only did 1. So that was beautiful. So at the end of that turn. Oh, maybe the rest of them ran. Oh, yeah. I think that may have been... Oh, that may have been after the first activation. How did I score 3? That must have been after the first activation, and I must have killed the rest of it after the other one. I think this may have been out of range or something. I don't remember. Somehow I scored 3 points. Oh, it's because Gotrek in this game type, Gotrek counts as 20 models. A hero counts as 20, so that's why. So he was outbodying everybody even though they were still there. So that's what it was. So I scored 3. He gets the double. If he hadn't gotten the double, or not the double, if he got the priority. If I had gotten the double, I may have been able to clear out some more stuff and just keep working his bodies down. Also, in this turn, the objective went that way. So it went up to his side where he had a bunch of clan rats already. And so it was staying there. It wasn't, I didn't have anything that could get over there to it, even if I had taken the turn. I think he took the turn just because he wanted to get his stuff out of the way of Gotrek. And he's sending clan rats. So I had already wiped most of his stuff off the board. He still had that one, Warp Lightning Cannon, which he bridged back to the first bridge. And basically the rest of everything is clan rats. So you just start killing some of them and they're going to run pretty quick. So he gets into Gotrek. He surrounds Gotrek. And Gotrek had 7 wounds left. Okay. That should be easy, right? He may have had a few less. It wasn't many. I think he may have put some shots into him or something. But whatever it was, the clan rats put up a ton of attacks, and Gotrek did not make the save. I think it came down to like 1 save. Oh, it was... I even paid a command point to reroll 1s, and he rolled a couple of 1s, and so that saved me. So I rerolled them, and they failed again. And then you go to the 3-up save, and he dies. Gotrek died to clan rats. How did that happen? Oh... Sometimes it's just quantity of hits over quality. So the clan rats, there's the empty, sad space where Gotrek once stood. So at this point, we go into my turn, and the objective's all the way over here. I've got nothing. I've got a couple of handgunners maybe, and the Sorceress. Those may have been Darkshards. Whatever it is, I've got nothing left. He even killed the monkey that was over here. He came over here with clan rats and killed the monkey. So at this point, we call the game because at minimum, this thing is. I think it even did bounce over there. We may have rolled it, and I think it bounced over that way. But even if it had bounced over here, you would have had it. I had nothing left. These like 8 Darkshards aren't going to do anything. My Sorceress, she's not going to do anything. So we called the game. Our game lasted like 45 minutes, and we killed 3,000 points of models, maybe more. 3,500 worth of models. I mean, he's got a Warp Lightning Cannon and 30 clan rats left on the board. I have about 200 points on the board. So, and that was in one turn, basically. We killed both of our armies. So he shot me off the board, and then I Gotrek him off the board. Unfortunately, he had enough bodies left over, and we called the game at that point. So we were both kind of astonished that everything was dead so fast. Went from that to within about 20 minutes to nothing left on the board. So, heck of a game. A lot of fun. It was a crazy game. Gotrek is awesome. I love Gotrek. He's definitely earned his points in any game that I play him smart enough. And any game where you can get him to an objective, he's going to cause a huge headache for whoever wants to try to take that objective from you. Unless you have clan rats, I guess. No. Yeah, it was a good game, though. It was a lot of fun. All 3 games were good. Let's see. Summary? Recap? All right. So to recap the list. How did I like the list? It's a little too dependent on the bridge, I think. I don't know. I may drop the bridge. It's pretty useful for getting that turn 1 Alpha Strike when I can get it off. But there's too many times when the terrain just doesn't allow you to do it, or there just isn't enough position for it. But it's not a bad spell. I think 30 Handgunners with the bridge is probably better than the 40 Darkshards. The Darkshards just take a lot more babysitting to make them good. You've got to keep a whole bunch of spells on them. You've got to keep a Sorceress near them if you want them to run and shoot. To get their stuff down to where it's low enough to do damage, since they don't have any rend. I think the 30 Handgunners are probably a better target to bridge with. You bridge them on an objective and just sit them there, force somebody to charge you, and you get 30 shots. Keep a Hurricanum near them, and you get that juicy +1 to hit, plus another 1 to hit since they didn't move. And all of a sudden you're doing 2s and 3s, 2s and 2s with -1 rend. Nobody wants to charge that. Put Warding Brand on them, even better. So I think they're going to be a better target for that bridge. But Darkshards, did they make their points back? I don't know. I don't think so. They probably did more wounds just from the Warding Brand than from shots. I don't know. That may be an exaggeration. I still like them, especially with the run and shoot ability. But I think you may want that 1-2 punch of 30 Handgunners with the bridge, followed up by the running and shooting Darkshards. So I think a little tweaking's in order. Yeah, I'll probably have to drop Gotrek to fully maximize the list. He's a lot of fun, so that's kind of a shame. I really like Gotrek. He's a lot of fun to send this little tiny dwarf up the field to kill an entire army. But you make one wrong move with him, and he's out of the game. Like in that first game, I barely got him into anything. And so if you make a wrong move with him, or a wrong play, or objectives fall where you can't get to him, he's out of the game. Unless he can get over there. So Comet definitely made its points back. Swords, I think it bit me more than I got use out of it. But I like it, though. especially against Chaos. When I was playing Slaanesh, you know, you're rolling 15 dice and 5 ups are mortals. So you should do 5 mortals for 30 points at, you know, whatever, 24-inch range. So I really like it. I don't think I quite use it well enough because I had so many other spells I needed to get off in this list. So I think in a true Hallowheart without Gotrek, you're going to have more casters. You're probably going to have more sorceresses. Maybe another Hurricanum. And you're going to have a lot more spell opportunities for those spells. Probably throw a portal in there so you can maximize those. Really probably lean into those spells. And then Handgunners and Darkshards. So with 1 and 2 on the day, ended up with like 17th or something. But had a lot of fun. All the games were fun. All the games were good. Good opponents. And had a good time. And so, yeah. Gotrek killed Rogue Idol, Mawcrusha, a couple Chariots, the Mask of Slaanesh, some Hellstriders, and then of course, the icing on top was the 6 Stormfields. Those things, those are scary. And Gotrek just says, "I got this, bro." All right, y'all have a good one.